Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're continuing our focus on the elections. We're looking ahead of the 2015 elections and sundry issues. But today, we're joined by the Governor of Delta State, Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Chaplain, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Well, listening to the President there, of course, you know, there are those who have x-rayed his comments, and well, lots of people have always said, look, we should make this campaign, this election, an issue-based elections. Let's start from a broader perspective. How do you see this 2015 elections playing out compared to the previous election?
Well, we thank you again, and Happy New Year again. The 2015 election itself, there's the presidential election, the National Assembly election, of course, the state election. At the presidential level, there's an incumbent who is contesting again. At the National Assembly elections, there are a lot of people who are incumbents who are contesting. At the governorship level, there are many governors who are not, who have done second term, and they are not contesting again. Now, why I'm emphasizing this is that when there is somebody on seat that is contesting, is different from when that person is no longer contesting and a new person is coming in. So for this one, that somebody is on seats at the presidential level is contested, the modalities are different. Now, what is playing out, or what is going to play out in this 2015 election is the fact that there is a party that is on seat, and right now we have another party which is stronger than, like an opposition that is stronger than the ones that we used to have. 2011, the opposition there was not as strong as what the one we have now, because after 2011, the last 2 years, a lot of the parties have merged and they have become stronger. So the competition, of course, naturally, is going to be what I term stiffer than what it used to be, and I think the PDP realizes this.
How is the party dealing with the internal wranglings amongst its ranks between the states, the federal level? They all seem to be divided at some point.
It always happens. After primaries, you have that kind of internal wrangling. But you see, the thing about the PDP is that it's the only party that is still in existence since 1998. Every other party, up to 58, that started in 1998, the other 57, they have either merged, demerged, died, buried, resurrected, in one form or the other. But because of that stability, because of the fact that PDP has been there since 1998, it has been able to develop structures that can deal with whatever internal crisis they are in. Sometimes you have people who are not patient enough, for that internal structure to deal with their grievances. And of course, you see them moving out to other parties. But generally, a lot more members remain within. Even when you have grievances, you remain within, and the system is able to deal with the grievances.
Well, pardon me, there's also a twist now, because part of those who are in the other party now happen to have been with the PDP. So they understand the workings of the party.
Yeah.
So that experience they've taken to the other party. So isn't the PDP going to be feeling the heat ahead of these elections?
No. What has happened is that for anybody who leaves the PDP to another party, the way I look at that's not somebody who is patient enough. And that impatience that they have exhibited in leaving the PDP, they will also exhibit such impatience in the party they are in. So it is the new party that they have gone to that will suffer it. The new party suffers it more than the PDP itself.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also asked a question about experience, because if you're leaving a particular party, the chances that you'll be leaving with your structure as well is quite high.
Yeah.
So isn't that some sort of loss to the PDP? Because if you say that the party has been, just a moment, sir, if you say that the party has been stable since 1998, but in the process your opposition has also grown stronger, it shows that whatever mechanism you might have had in your party perhaps wasn't working fast enough, perhaps hasn't been dynamic enough, because other parties might say that it's because of this dynamism that they have exhibited that has enable them attract members from even the ruling opposition to make them ruling party to make them stronger.
There are people who are impatient in life. Chinese civilization would have experienced it. At the time you started, as you are growing, some people become very impatient. Oh, this channel is not growing enough. It's not fast enough. They are not paying me enough. You know, they are not even thinking of projecting. Oh, this outfit has the potential of growing, and let me be part of the growth. No, they don't want to be part of that growth. They now move into another television station or another station. And they find that when they get there, they also exhibit that kind of impatience. And they also are not able to fit into that place. They move to another one. So you see people moving from one outfit to the other. It happens in politics. That's what is happening in PDP. People moving from one party to the other. You will see there are some governors who were not in PDP, came into PDP, became governors, have now moved. So within a space of 7 years, they have moved into 3 parties.
Would you say
so
that
it is not because of the problems of PDP, but because it is in their nature to be impatient. They don't want to be part of the development of the party.
Would you say that the primaries that you had, this last couple of months, were the most cantankerous that the party has ever experienced?
Well, I cannot say that. Every primary has its own challenges. Every primary has its own challenges. This one had its own challenges. But like I said, there are structures that are dealing with these challenges. For instance, the party, the national leadership of the party, they have now put up a committee of, they selected 3 people from each state. Elders, real leaders who are now going around looking at the various fallout of the primaries.
We asked that question in relation to the many fallouts that we've seen, and you must admit that there are many, perhaps even including Delta State. I don't think that it was also left out of this, but you've seen that in some states they were stronger than some other states. In states like Taraba, in Adamawa, in Enugu, even in River State, you had all of this spread across the country. In Ogun State, where you would think that by now they would also coalesce to face the party in power, they are still also very divided. How do you think this will pan out for you in the 2015 elections?
You see, like I said, the fallout is being dealt with. There are teams that are going around, trying to settle whatever may have arisen from the primary. You just mentioned the one of Delta. Look at the people. Maybe 1 or 2 persons in Delta may have moved from another party, not at the governorship level, but at the other. But look at their political history. You will notice that these are people who also moved from one party to the other at other times. There are people who are desperate to hold positions, and that kind of desperation can lead you into moving from one party to the other. Now, let me take myself for instance. I wanted to contest the Senate, but when I saw that by contesting the Senate might lead to electoral violence, and be the chief security officer, knowing what I know security-wise about Delta, and I just consulted my people, look, I can no longer go in. It's not as if whether I win or I will lose, that wasn't the issue. But the issue is peace and security is uppermost in my state. And whatever will disrupt the peace and security, I should try and avoid it, especially when it has to do with my personal vision. But there are people who will not think like that. They will go into it. There will be security issues, and of course, if they lose, they move to other parties.
Now that you brought up this issue, I think I want to tie to the statement of Professor Bolaji Akinyemi. You say that you said that you sacrificed your personal ambition because you thought that it might, affect the peace and security of your state. Yeah. He made a prediction that in these elections, regardless of whichever way we look at it, whichever party or candidate emerges winner of the presidential elections, it would seem that we're still headed down the path of violence. Would you have said that both candidates step down as the presidential candidates of their political parties, or you don't agree with his statement?
No. You see, Professor Bolaji Akemi is somebody I respect very much, and it's somebody, if he speaks, I think we should listen. I've analyzed that statement, and I think we should listen to him. Yes, there are. The issue of the presidency is quite a complex one because the presidency is not just about the individual, but the way Nigeria is, even regional. So, what are the things that will cause violence in the presidential election, especially this coming presidential election? In 2011, we had violence in certain parts of the country as a result of the presidential election. Now, for me, I think the various stakeholders should sit down and look at the cause of violence at the presidential election. What I mean the various stakeholders, it's not just the candidates themselves. The parties, the various ethnic groups, the states, the local governments, even the communities must sit down and say, oh, in 2011, we had this violence. Do we need the violence in 2015? And the answer is no. Now, 2011, 2015, 4 years. 2015, 2019, another 4 years. What is in 8 years that some people cannot be patient enough to wait? If I've contested election once, twice, third time, and the third one led to violence, why should I be contesting for a fourth one? That's where the individual comes in. That you must sit down and analyze whether what the position you want is worth people dying for. Especially when, if you had contested before and people died, why do you still want to contest that position again? People are looking at and saying, people will die as a result of the contest. So we must look at it.
Allow me.